guess we'll go with public participation first.
Roll
Get
call.
that out of the way.
Roll call.
Oh, roll call. Oh, members. Mark McKeever, Kevin Myers, Terry Spiegel, and myself, Chair. Are we
Thank
all
you.
here?
Yeah.
So, yeah, any public participation out there? Just here to listen, huh? Okay. Maybe we'll have something for you. You have another opportunity here at the end, hopefully. Well, let's get the, oh, there she goes. We'll get this out of the way, the appropriation reductions. So Joyce will be back. You want to do the appropriation reductions, Joyce? Explain that to us first. We'll get that out of the way.
This is just a housekeeping issue. I discovered in a fund that doesn't get used very much, that it actually got used, and I needed to,
Microphone, please.
I had to reduce the appropriation to match the revenue, so that's all that is. It's just a cleanup for year end.
All right. Any discussion on that committee? If not, can I have a motion to,
Can you tell me a little bit more what the fund is and what the?
Okay, it's for continuing education for the police department.
Okay.
Police continuing professional training. And the fund has been sitting there for a while because they were able to do a lot of their training in-house.
Okay.
And usually they would get a reimbursement for it each year. Well, this year they didn't get a reimbursement, but they took a little bit of training. And since we had no revenue and this training that was used, we'll just, I needed to reduce it to match the remaining balance in
Do
the
you know what the
fund.
dollar amount is on the reduction? Do you know what the dollar amount is on the reduction?
Yeah, it's $956.76.
If you said that, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, $956.76, and that leaves a balance of about $266 in there that'll go in next year's
Okay,
budget.
thanks.
I'll make a motion to accept the appropriation reduction.
As an emergency?
Yes.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. So we'll move on to the 2023 city budget. So we had gotten apparently the ordinance that we would like to pass. Is there any discussion on that? Well, first off, I don't know how to exactly phrase this, but I know, I see here, you know, it shows everything we're spending. Oh, wait a second here, maybe this is it. It's hot off the press. Boy, it's hot off the press.
It is.
It's still warm. So this is the, okay. So maybe you can guide me to the, I was telling Kevin here before, and I haven't ever got assimilated to, after we had the green line paper, I learned how to read that, and
This is the same thing, it's just smaller.
it's just smaller. Well, maybe that's why it's so hard. But on that, I could always see the revenues at the beginning. And are the revenues in this or not?
No, this is strictly the expenses.
Expenses.
And I'm still don't know what the year-end numbers are gonna be because we're still posting the month-end revenue as we speak. Kaylee's working on it right now. But I had calculated, kind of estimated, and everything is in line at this point on all the major funds, that we shouldn't be in the red. And the general fund, to the best of my knowledge, with the budget, after the cuts that we made, we may have a carryover at the end of the year of about $170,000, if we're lucky. But with the expenses coming and that kind of thing, and the budget was cut drastically. I know we cut out $400,000 in the general fund just for maintenance issues and things like that. And now we have a broken water pipe in the wall here from last week's storm that I'm not sure. I hope we have enough money to pay for that. But that's, that's how much we cut through the administrative part of the budget. We also cut safety forces because that was the only way to get the budget to balance to start the year.
Okay, Kevin? did
So
you have
these
a
were
question?
cuts after the last time we met?
Yes.
Is there a listing of those for us to go through, or are you gonna go through them, or?
I don't have a list per se at this point. I'm a little pulled so many directions right now, and I've had a lot of interruptions the past 2 weeks. So I can't give you a detailed, mostly it came out of salary lines. If you look at the 22 actual, like on police, it's basically staying the same in police salary. I couldn't really cut much. I cut the workers' comp line, just about everything else. We have to cover insurances, any retirement buyouts, all that kind of stuff. That did not change. Same thing happened in fire, and this holds true for general fund and the levy. Fire does have more in their budget than police does as far as salary goes, because we know we have to cover the retro and that kind of thing. Last year, for fire salary, we had $1,046,000. This year, we got $1,003,000 in general fund. And it would have been, from where we started and where we thought we needed to be, before we knew all the revenue numbers and whatever, it would have been probably $1,006,000 for fire, and 1.1 for police. We just didn't have the funds to do that.
How much choice do we gonna have in the retroactive? Do you know?
Don't know for sure. I know it's over $300,000
Okay.
until we pay, pension and everything. The civilian employee salary was, it was cut about $15,000 in the levy. I have to look at civilian in the general fund. It stayed roughly the same, but to make up the deficit we were going to have, there was nothing else that we could do. Like I say, we took $400,000 in the rest of the general fund. We pulled out, and that means that there'll be some repairs that won't be made or can't be made, and maybe it'll be a Band-Aid to get us by because we just don't have the money.
So, I don't know, I guess he left, but, so I don't want to beat this dead horse here, but, so we really don't know how much money we're going to have, or there's no projection, but I would think we'd have to have some type of projection to come up with a budget. Are we going to be more than last year, less than last year? I'm sure we'll be.
At best will be the same as last year. It'll probably be flat, is what I'm guessing. Because I know that some of the people that were let go from GE have some other jobs now, and we do have some more shelter works and some other places coming in. So I'm hoping that absorbs some of the loss, but it's all a guesstimate at this point.
Well, yeah, and I understand that. We don't know what next year's going to bring. Have another COVID. Let's hope not. Huh? So, I don't know. What discussion, any discussion here with you guys? Or, I mean, there's a lot to digest here. I know that. And we don't, I do know we have cut police, I know, more than I would have liked. we need to watch our overtime in the fire department, and that's going to be a difficult thing to do. But other than that, I think we've cut everywhere we can. Probably won't be a swimming pool this year. If the community can rally around, I remember the one year we
had
got
donations
and things. What, and that's a question I did want to ask, and you're the financial wizard here, so how much would we need to get in donations to be able to open the swimming pool this year?
To replace-
your personal
Okay,
opinion.
to replace what we cut from the budget would be about $70,000.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought too.
It's, you know, it's not a money-making venture.
No, it's not, and it would definitely be. So I guess I'll put the first call out there to the community to see maybe we can get some donations or something. I know we did that year.
Yeah,
that
it's
we
been
were-
several years
Before the
ago.
safety forces levy got passed, and we did that, so.
That was
you know,
probably around 2011, 2012,
yeah,
in that area.
We did that one year, and I would, you know, this is a great community, and they usually come together for things that hopefully they can do that again. Here it is, January almost. We've got a few months to gather up some funds and put that call out there to the community that we're gonna need help, so that's what I have. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think Joyce should be commended. She did a lot of work in getting this thing
Oh, yes.
balanced.
Most
She did a
definitely.
great job on it. Looking through everything, it looks pretty good to me, considering what we got to work with. 31 million total, is what it is for the whole city.
Yeah. And the projects and the ARPA grants and the other grants that we're getting complicates everything as far as how to, you know, get your revenues against your expenses. We have a lot of projects going on. We've got some money coming in from the county's ARPA money for water lines. We've got the H2 Ohio grant coming in for the Nevada water line. But that doesn't cover everything. The city still has to, you know, pick up some of that cost. So I'm just trying to juggle everything and make it all work so that everything balances, and it's been a little bit of a struggle, but.
I know it has. Did you have something?
Yeah, so I know Joyce said she didn't have it. Do either of you guys have a list of, like, what are the additional cuts were since the last time we met?
For general fund,
Yeah, that's all we're
well,
talking about.
what we presented, the rest is really.
The rest was really from me,
Yeah.
just to make it work.
You have that copy of it, right, Kevin? The 400-some thousand we cut out.
Which one is
We had
that? Yeah, that's the one from our last meeting.
Yes,
Yeah, the
Okay.
rest, the rest came from Joyce.
Okay. So then, you were here for a majority of that meeting, right?
yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
So from what we were presented, and then you said there were more cuts to, like, salaries.
It was basically salaries and workers' comp that I cut.
So what's that do to our staffing, both in police and fire, for the numbers you've now come to here? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm planning at this point that it's going to keep the staffing where it's at.
Okay.
For at least the next 6 to 8 months.
Right.
You're
which
gonna have
somebody
to
said
watch
that
the
in an
revenues
email.
and, yes.
I understand that, okay. I'm just asking for clarity for
I
the
wasn't,
timeline.
I wasn't figuring layoffs or anything. I
Okay.
figured current staffing.
And then the other part of that was, pardon me, you had said you weren't sure of the revenue numbers on a couple of the things that we were talking about, EMS billing and the townships paying. Did that get rectified, or is that still up in the air?
I did bump up the EMS billing about $35,000 based on what we got this year.
Okay, so where are you at? Do you remember where you're at on that?
About $435,000.
435, okay.
And I did adjust the,
175-ish for the,
yeah, 175
Okay.
on the subsidies, yeah.
all right.
Because I think we had started this year with 179, but that little bit
You
at
had
the end of
one
last
extra-
year
one
kind
extra
of
month.
messed it up.
It started in November,
Yeah, yeah.
or 2 months.
Well, I guess my next question is do we want to peruse this? I guess the question is, what if we took the weekend to look this over and voted on whatever,
Tuesday night.
Tuesday to accept this? What does that do to, I don't think we're cutting.
As long as it's taking effect January 1, it's not a problem, but as far as making changes, I won't be here to do it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not going to change anything if you vote for it now or you vote for it Tuesday.
Well, I understand that.
I mean, and I understand, you know, you want to study it, I get that. And I will probably, once I have all the month-end numbers so that I can finish calculating it, I'll give you the year-end balance sheets and that kind of stuff that I can't give you right now. I'll probably be in here working tomorrow. Unhappily.
Well, we do appreciate all that you've done over your 30 years, or, right, 30 years? That's what someone said, I can't believe it, but,
Well, 23 is auditor.
yeah,
Finishing up 23 is auditor.
So, it's remarkable that, I wish we had more people that would dedicate their lives to that kind of stuff. You don't get enough credit for what you do, so from me, and probably everyone else,
Yep.
we appreciate what you've done. I hope that means something, but thank you.
I do appreciate it.
I think we need to pass it on to council, do we not? And get them to look at the whole thing, and then council can, as long as we pass it on to council as our finance committee, I think even if we don't pass it today, they could pass it on Tuesday, and it'd still be legal because we're doing it today. So they're getting it before the first, is that not right?
Well, it doesn't say anything about,
We could fix the language.
I mean, you
to
just
make it
put in that it's retroactive to
which is not
January
difficult.
1, and you
I
can
guess
pass it Tuesday.
then
But it's
you-
going to have to pass, or there'll be no payroll next week, or no bills paid.
Right, so then the only thing you're looking at is if you pass it as an emergency today out of finance, they can vote on it on Tuesday as a whole if you didn't want to vote on it at the special meeting after this, and everything passes retroactively and we're,
Okay.
or if it doesn't go out of committee today, then you have two options. We bring it to council as a whole, never coming out of committee, or we set a special council meeting Monday at 6 PM before the, or Tuesday at 6 PM before the meeting on Tuesday. Could do it Monday.
What's that? What would you rather do?
What Brian just said, that we could just have a finance meeting on Tuesday prior to the council meeting.
Yeah. We peruse it over the weekend and,
I don't know what there is to peruse, because it's here. What else are we gonna cut? They've cut everything they can cut on it.
And also,
It's in front of
Joyce
us.
said she's not gonna be here to make any
No.
of the changes. We don't have anybody here to make the changes if we even wait till, we can pass it now out of finance. I'm just suggesting.
Yes.
And we can take time, council can look at it, and then they can make their decision on Tuesday.
My opinion is very different. I'm not gonna vote for something that I was just handed. I would like to read through it. I understand that it's all been done. I get it, and it's always done right.
Well, we can
But
wait.
I'm not gonna vote for something that was just handed to me. I wanna read through it.
we're not gonna vote, council's not gonna vote on it tonight. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
We agree on that. So if we look at it, do you guys have it over there?
You got it 5 minutes ago.
Okay, well, you guys look at it and communicate with us one-on-one so that we're not having an illegal meeting. Contact someone in the finance committee if you see an issue or have a question. And then if we could have a meeting just prior, 15 minutes prior to I think 15 minutes is enough. Usually we do a half hour. and
5
then we
minutes is
sit
probably
around-
enough.
Then we sit around, okay,
5 minutes is probably enough.
6:55, or,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
6:55 Tuesday, have a special finance meeting to approve it. And that way, everyone's satisfied, everyone's looked at it. We've done our due diligence, because we're responsible to the 11,000 other people out there, or at least the voters that voted for us.
But can I say
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
But you guys were all here at the last finance meeting when we went over all the cuts. The only two cuts that are different than those nights that you saw are the payroll Joyce discussed. There's nothing different. Why do you need the weekend?
I don't know, I'm just asking.
I don't know. Is that right, Joyce? Did I hear you right?
Yeah.
At the last finance meeting, those cuts were already.
Right, the
presented.
only thing that changed since then was the salary lines,
Okay,
so that we can make it.
What are you looking for that you don't already know? I guess from what you've been presented and what Joyce has told you.
I don't know, I think that, the rest of the council you hadn't even seen anything yet, have you? The rest of the council hasn't seen anything. We were trying to get something so that we could get it to them, and, yeah, and I understand what you're saying, there'll be no difference, but at least we'll feel better that we looked at it, I guess, so.
I'm just worried that, we aren't gonna have an auditor to plug any numbers that you guys might wanna, and because you didn't state any numbers were upsetting you or want to change some the last time at the meeting, so she would have had time to work on those things.
It's not
No,
true.
I think we
We'd
did.
asked you to go back and take another look at it. That's what when we
Which-
had our last meeting, I was under the impression you guys were gonna take another look and see if there were anywhere else you could cut.
There was no other place.
I understand that, but my point is, we asked to have that,
So I don't know, I would take, like I said, take a motion from the committee as to what to do.
I have no problem with you looking at it, but I'm not legally able to do anything after tomorrow, so.
I understand. So, do I have a motion to have an early finance meeting before council meeting Tuesday?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah.
One opposed, 2, 4. So I guess we will have a special finance meeting. Susan, can you put a notice out for that?
Yep.
Thank you.
6:55.
6:55.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we still have an agenda here. The reduced income tax credit. I would invite any of the other council people that was against the reduced income tax credit that got kind of turned down last time to come up and ask any questions, or just are against it or whatever. I don't care. I give you the opportunity now. Personally, I was always against it, and I still am against it, but we also have to balance this budget. We also have an obligation for which this won't take effect till '24, so we have an obligation to leave money for the next council, whether it be any of us or not. Yes.
You could, to change the tax credit, you could do that. You can't do that retroactively, but, so theoretically, you could cut the tax credit by 1% beginning February 1st. It was difficult for the auditors, because then they have to calculate who worked out of town, if they worked multiple jobs, and then divide them and prorate them. But in theory, you could pass something saying that February 1st of 2023, you're dropping both credits 0.5%, so that each one would be 50%. But you could do that, and I think that when it was asked of my opinion how, because you had 4 votes, so how did it fail? Well, it failed because it was tried to do as an emergency. So theoretically, if you put it back before council as an ordinary legislation, then you would have 3 readings, the opportunity to discuss it and move forward if that's what you so chose.
So have we had the first reading?
No, we would have to start
It
it all.
failed, so you have to start from scratch.
Start from scratch, so. I guess, give it out to the committee, how do you want to move with this?
I think we have to look at it and do something.
Well, we have to look at it, and we do have to do
Yes.
something. Yeah. We have to get funds somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure where we're gonna do that. so.
We do need to get the funds, and unfortunately, that is the only way that we can get it without having to wait a whole year.
Right.
But I want it known that if we get this 1/4% income tax on the ballot, and that it will go back to the full credit, and also make that 1/4% renewable, not a permanent levy.
Yeah.
That's the only way I will go for this reduced income tax credit.
That was part of the whole plan, yeah.
That's the only way I'll go for it, and we gotta get it, and we gotta get the people to show them where it's gonna go. Like we do, the safety forces levy and the street levy passes because they see the results. The money goes where it says it's gonna go. So,
And so we're currently working on finishing that up. But if that would pass in May, I believe the language in there is going to make it effective in July, which would then make withholding start coming in 23, correct, Joyce, or no?
It could, if
might start to
employers
get-
will start withholding more.
You might start to get employer withholdings in 23. So it could be a stopgap measure, but legally you could get funds from both of those. And I know I talked to Steve about.
It'll make
timings.
calculating returns a nightmare too.
It will, it absolutely will.
so we need to have this come out of committee to go to council
Yeah.
to get 3 readings.
I'll make that motion to do so.
Terry makes a motion for the reduced income tax credit.
And so you're requesting the rate be reduced from 100% on the first 1% to 50%,
Yeah.
and then 50% on the second one,
Whatever's in the.
and to make that effective February 1st.
Yep.
Excuse me. I don't think I think you want, are you looking for the same motion that you had the last time?
Yes,
Is that what the motion was?
1%.
I think, I don't think you.
It's 1% of your,
It's 50%.
50% credit.
Up to 2%, right,
Yeah.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Well, to do that, with the way our tax is set up, you have, the first 1% is one fund, and then everything above that is a different fund.
So it has to be 50/50.
So it's a half a credit for the
A
1%.
half a credit for
half a credit
both,
for-
for the second 1%.
Okay, so I just wanted to make
Half-
that.
Yeah.
Just to make the
Half
tax,
credit.
Yeah.
Yes.
otherwise
That's my
you're
motion.
collecting money and sending it into different pools instead of uniformly applying it.
Okay, well, yeah, I just want to make sure it was the same as they voted on
Yeah.
last time.
It is, it's,
So, you just confused me with that, and I know you were trying to clarify it. So, the reduction's gonna go where?
it would be uniformly applied across the entire.
Across all 3 places it goes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
And that's the
so-
only legal way to do that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, could you just send it straight to safety forces, for instance, since that's where we're short?
I anticipate,
I don't think you could do that. I'm not the attorney, but I don't think you can do that. I mean, I don't think you can treat one levy different than the other levies, if that makes sense.
And if you're like accounting and preparation, because all you're talking about is the credits on 1,700 returns.
Correct.
So it would be very difficult for the tax department to figure that. But I don't know, legally, I don't know if you could give a credit only towards one portion of that tax.
Yeah.
I don't know why you couldn't, but I also know the way our taxes are set up, that would be a bear. I don't-
Well, we got a motion, so.
Legally.
I'll second that.
We have a motion from Terry, second from Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So we will get the first reading on Tuesday on that and see what we can do. Right? Any other discussion on that? If not, I guess we're back to public participation. So we talked about lots of, any questions out there? Any concerns? If not,
I guess before
Oh,
you.
yes, okay.
So, I think you said we could have a first reading on Tuesday.
Right.
We technically have a special council meeting tonight that it's on the agenda, if council are so inclined to have that first reading. Just, we've had it come out of finance committee.
If you have your first reading tonight and it passes, and your second reading Tuesday, then in 2 weeks you have your third, you're still under the February 1st, otherwise you're March 1st. So unless you have a special meeting just for that, so.
Right.
So
So timing.
you've already got the meeting called, if you know, it puts you on that February 1st without having another extra meeting.
So you're saying do the first reading tonight?
Yeah, if you.
That's up to the.
Every month you lose.
It's on the agenda, so.
Every month you lose, it's
Right.
typically $50,000 of revenue, so.
So I get, okay, so I'll rephrase that I have a motion to,
The motion was just for the request for the legislation.
oh, okay.
He's fine with that.
We're good. I was
Okay,
just
we're good,
clarifying.
okay. So we will have a special finance meeting, or a special council meeting after this meeting. So let's wrap this up.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did you ever, because I know I mentioned it at the last meeting, but did you ever request legislation for the budget piece? I mean, that I've already prepared.
No,
Did
we
you
called a
do
meeting
that?
We called a meeting for Tuesday, prior to the council meeting.
Okay, so are you requesting legislation now since you're going to hold it till Tuesday? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think there was a formal request for the legislation.
Right, that's.
I
what we were
was
gonna do
just being
Tuesday.
proactive to get it done, so.
They're going to request it Tuesday.
Tuesday
Okay.
before the meeting.
All right. I just want to make sure.
And so I think you emailed that to me. So I will make it retroactive because now on Tuesday it will have to be tweaked a little bit.
Yeah,
I get it.
okay.
Sure you're not coming in Tuesday?
Don't think so. I think I have other things to do.
I guess with that, and one more chance for public participation. No one? I guess we will adjourn at whatever time it is.
6:45.
6:45.
4:45.
4:45.
4:45.